What is up, boys? It's your boy Mega, and before we go into the video, I would like to quickly say, if you haven't already known, we have 5 decks that have been requested by you guys, and I've decided to let you guys decide the order on which decks you would like to see first. I'll do these 5 before I do any other decks that are ever going to be requested. So if you would like to vote on which deck you'd like to see first, it'll be in the description down below and on my Discord and be on my community page on YouTube. So any further ado, guys, let's get into this video. Okay guys, as the name suggests, this is a combo vote deck because it's sporting both the Auroradon combo and Alistair in a single turn. You can do both if you have simply like many of different cards, there's many different cards in order to do both. So let's quickly get into it. We are running that lone copy of Galaxy Serpent because it is the only light tuner normal monster in the whole deck, or in the whole game, I should say. Because it is a normal monster, you expect something of unexpected die, kind of like the thing with Gamma. That's the reason why we're doing it. Basically, if you have unexpected die and Alistair, you can do both the Auroradon combo and Mecha Bird in a single turn, and that's really, really great. We're using Driver as well because obviously we're using Cypher Gear Gamma. Driver is not actually a dead card in this deck, simply because it's a lighter attribute. You can use it to fusion summon with Alistair to go into Mecha Bird, and also you can use it for fodder for Jet Synchron, and you can use it for fodder for using Mecha Bird's ability to negate a monster effect. We've got 3 copies of Alistair because obviously this is Invoke. Alistair, basically upon summon, lets you add Invocation, now fusion spell from the deck to hand, and he has a hand effect as well where you can send to the graveyard to target any fusion monster you control to give it 1,000 more attack points. Hand traps, guys, we've got 2 copies of Ash Blossom Joy Springs, and need to see more, very much mandatory in all Link Evolution decks. We're running 1 copy of Despot 001 because we are running, like I say, a Auroradon combo. You will be summoning off Despot 001 off of Halka Fibrex, either from your hand or deck. However, you can fusion summon with this guy to go into the Sea Monster of Theseus if you want to do it that way in order to go in order to summon it out if you don't have Insta Fusion. Because as long as this guy's in the graveyard, you don't give a crap because second you do a Auroradon's Birdie, it's going to resurrect anyway. So you don't particularly care how this guy gets in the graveyard as long as he gets in there. Now I am running 3 copies of Effect Veiler. The reason why is because she's a light, she's a light tuner hand trap. So she's a hand trap with basically the same effect as Infinite Opponents. However, you can only use her effect during your opponent's main phase. You can't do it during your opponent's battle phase, standby, draw phase, or whatever. It has to be their main phase, and you can't use her during your turn. However, she is a tuner, so you can go into Halka Fibrex with her. She's a light attribute monster, so you can go into Mecha Bird, and because she's a tuner as well, you can go into Sea Monster of Theseus if need be. I've got 2 copies of Jet Synchron. Reason being is because Jet Synchron alone can make Auroradon, do the whole Auroradon combo. The reason I'm only running 2 is because it's searchable off of tuning, and you're only particularly going to go for Jet Synchron over Alistair if you haven't got any other players. Because yes, we're running 7 copies of Alistair. That doesn't guarantee you in order to get Alistair. So just a nice other normal summon of an Alistair, Jet Synchron just fulfills that purpose. I am running Colt Wing and O-Lion both in the deck. The reason why is because normally if you run a Auroradon combo and you hard draw the Colt Wing or hard draw the O-Lion, whichever one you're running, you then can't do a Auroradon combo because obviously Auroradon can only special summon from the extra deck or can only special summon from the deck and not from the hand. So by running both, you actually eliminate that chance because heck, you opened up Colt Wing, yeah, I can still do a Auroradon combo because I can just special summon Outline from the deck. That's pretty much what it's all about. Outline is a tuner, so you can use it for shenanigans like say go into Sea Monster Theseus because it's a tuner, or you can use it to go into Halka Fibrex. Colt Wing, you can literally, say you've got Colt Wing and Unexpected Die, you can still do a Auroradon combo because you've got a tuner and a non-tuner. Now we've got 3 copies of Nibiru and 3 copies of Cypher Gear Gamma. These are our go second cards. The reason I decided to put both Gamma and Nibiru in is because they're both light targets, perfect for Mecha Bird because it gives us more light targets for Alistair, and also they're both great going second. So in Link Evolution, we're doing singles, we're not doing matches, so you can't predict if you're going to go first every single time. So with this deck, you can go first or second because we are running a grand total of 14 hand traps. So you actually have a high chance of actually seeing hand traps to shut down your opponent, so then during your turn, you can then pop off. That's what we're all about. And since, like, what, I think 9 of our hand traps are light attribute, you've got a strong chance of getting a light attribute monster that you can use for Mechaba. And that's basically what Gamma and Nibiru are all about. Nibiru just stops your opponent if they summon 5 cards, great 5 monsters, great against combo deck, and Gamma is just another version of Effect Veiler that negates and destroys the monster. So that's why we're running these specific hand traps. Onto the spells, guys. I'm running 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. You can bump this card up to 3 if you really want. Cosmic Cyclone is really great to go up against back row decks, such as, for instance, like Altergeist, Guru, and all that shenanigans. It's also great when you're going up against Mystic Mindburn because it means you do have an out in your deck with Cosmic Cyclone. So that's why I'm particularly running it, and because it negates, because it banishes the card, it doesn't destroy. It does get around a lot of pesky cards, such as if you're playing against like Unchain, Cosmic Cyclone is really, really good because Unchain like float when they're destroyed, not when they're banished. We've got 3 copies of Instant Fusion because this card can summon out Sea Monster Theseus just like that. However, Sea Monster Theseus is a water attribute. However, if you have Alistair and Instant Fusion, you can still do the Aurodon combo on top of getting your Invocation off of Alistair. If you have any light monsters in your hand, bear in mind we are running a grand total of like 11 light monsters. You have a very strong chance of getting a light monster in your hand, so you can go into Mechaba on top of your Aurodon combo. Invocation is searchable off Alistair. We're only running 2, you don't need 3 because it is searchable off Alistair. And it is recursive. If this card's in your graveyard and you've got an Alistair that's banished, you can return it. You can return the Alistair back to your hand and shuffle this card back into your deck. So it's actually really hard to like deck out. This you're going to use this to go into Mechaba or Purgatrio. We've got 3 copies of Magical Meltdown. Upon being activated, it adds Alistair from your deck to your hand. So pretty much you're running 6 copies of Alistair because you've got Magical Meltdown, and then we've got Terraforming that can search out Magical Meltdown. And another thing, guys, with Magical Meltdown, if you perform a fusion summon, your opponent cannot negate it. So if Magical Meltdown is in play and your opponent has something like Cyber Dragon Infinity in play, they cannot negate Invocation with Infinity due to Meltdown protecting it. We've got 2 copies of Tuning because it searches out our Jet Synchron, and it does send the top card of the deck to the graveyard. Now normally you'd have to like risk it a bit because obviously you don't particularly want to send a Garnet like Colt Wing or O-Line to the graveyard normally in the Aurodon decks. However, because we're running both Colt Wing and O-Lion, you don't need to worry about that chance. If anything, you want to particularly hit like mill a card because you can get like hit a light attribute monster. So then if you do have Alistair, you can just banish the card to go into Mechaba from the graveyard. We've got 3 copies of Unexpected Die because it is basically a combo extender because you get to special summon Galaxy Serpent out for free and without using your normal summon. And then say if you have Galaxy Serpent and Alistair, you can do the full Aurodon combo and go into Mechaba in the same turn. And the best bit is you can even do Mechaba first on like the 5th summon, so then you can actually avoid like Nibiru, so you can do the Aurodon combo without even being hindered. And then we're putting 3 copies of Infinite Permanence, another hand trap. Should your opponent do it, it's basically the trap version of Effect Veiler. Basically you negate a face-up monster effects in the field. It's kind of a little bit better than Effect Veiler because you can do it during either player's turn regardless of where bad it is, like draw, standby phase, main phase, battle phase, whatever. And if it's set and activated its effect, it negates any spell or trap that activates in that same column. Really great, guys. And that's what the deck's all about. Basically, we're running a grand total of 14 hand traps, running 2 engines with the Invoke engine and the Aurodon engine all in one happy package. Onto the extra deck, guys. We are running 2 copies of Mechaba. Obviously, Alistair plus any light target makes this card. We have 11 targets in the main deck, and that's just more than enough to go into it. It's an Omnigate where you can just discard a monster spell or trap, and if your opponent activates a monster spell or trap effect, you basically discard the same card, basically. So it's mainly a monster negate because you're going to keep hand traps or whatever in your hand. We aren't running Borrow's Sword Dragon because we have invoked Purgatrio. Purgatrio basically does what Borrow's Sword would do. He's here enabled to like put pressure on the opponent and do OTK plays. He does piercing damage, he can attack all monsters your opponent controls, and he gains 200 attack for each card your opponent controls. And again, because it's a fusion, you can use Alistair to give him a big boost if you want to go for the OTK play. Sea Monster Theseus is a card you can summon off instant fusion because it's level 5 or lower. This is the only fusion tuner in the entire game, and it only needs 2 tuners for its summoning requirement. So if you've got like Gamma in hand or an Outline in hand, you can still use those with Invocation to go into Sea Monster Theseus for a comp to get out a tuner, and then you can just do Alistair to then search out another Invocation and then just do the whole Auroradon combo. Then, speaking of the Auroradon combo, guys, we have 4 synchros for that combo. We have Borrow's Savage Dragon, which is an Omnigate. You're basically going to either equip Halqifibrax to get 2 Borrow counters or Auroradon to get 3 Borrow counters. If you did Colt Wing, it's going to get 2 counters with Halqifibrax. If you did O-Line, it's going to get 3 counters with Auroradon. And if your opponent basically activates a monster spell or trap effect, you can remove a Borrow counter to negate that card. We have Crystallon Quadax. If you're gonna go into Quadax, you're gonna summon off Colt Wing, because this basically lets you go into FA Dawn Dragsters. The only reason you use Crystallon Quadax. FA Dawn Dragster is going to be the spell and trap negate you summon off of Colt Wing. If you had Outlion, you summon out Herald of the Arclight instead of FA Dawn Dragster. You'll always have Borrow's Savage Dragon, but then you'll either have FA Dawn Dragster or Herald of the Arclight, depending on which one meets like the requirements of whatever you're dueling against. FA Dawn Dragster is just a spell or trap negate. If your opponent activates one, you reduce this guy's level by 2 and negate that and negate that spell or trap. He does do piercing damage as well, so that's very nice. Herald of the Arclight is like a macrocosmos in like an omnigate form. So should your opponent activate a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can negate and destroy that card. And also, should your opponent send a card from the hand or main deck to the graveyard, it's banished instead. So this actually shuts down Effect Veiler, because Effect Veiler actually says it needs to go to the graveyard to trigger its ability. So this does get around Effect Veiler, and if your opponent is like trying to mill their deck, they can't mill because they're going to get banished instead of going to the graveyard. Links, guys, we've got Halqifibrax. You're going to go into this near enough every single duel to go into Auroradon. 9 times out of 10, you're going to summon out 001 unless you had to use Despot 001 to go into Halqifibrax. In that case, you're just going to summon out a Jet Synchron. We've got Nightmare Phoenix. You can take out Nightmare Phoenix if you want to for Lambda to make Gamma more reliable if you really want to. I focused more on Phoenix to pop like back row, because like I thought back row hate would be a bit more realistic. Unicorn, you can bounce back 1 card on the field back into the deck. Really nice. It doesn't. Yes, it targets, but it doesn't destroy cards. It gets around that pesky requirement. We've got Linkuriboh, because of course we are running Jet Synchron. So basically, a lone Jet Synchron goes into Linkuriboh. Jet Synchron resurrects itself to go back in Halqifibrax, which then goes into Auroradon, or because you linked off into Linkuriboh. Auroradon lets you special summon out 3 Mechaphanta Beast tokens, and then you get to tribute. Basically, you're going to either tribute 2 tokens to go into Colt Wing, or you're going to tribute itself and a token to go into Outlion. As like I said earlier, Auroradon can only special summon from the deck and not the hand. So if you have Colt Wing or Outlion in your hand, you've got to go for the opposite. You've got to go for the other one. So please bear that in mind. We have got 1 Solomon Great Almirage and 1 Secure Gardener. You can 9 times out of 10 go Alistair into Almirage and then Almirage into Secure Gardener. Doing this is because then you get a fire and a light target in just a single Alistair, which means both Purgatrio and Mechaburt are live. So just a single Alistair can equal Mechaburt, and that's really great on its own. And that's it for the deck, guys. It's a really fun deck for this game, because your opponent thinks you're just playing Invoke, and then you just slap down the Auroradon combo on top of that, and it's really and that's just like throws them out for a loop. We've got so many hand traps to try and slow our opponent down, so then when it's our turn, we can punch through and go for some big plays. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did, hit that thumbs up, subscribing, because everyone helps out the channel grow. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this deck. Put them in the description, put them in the comment section down below. Without any further ado, guys, take care and have a great day.